I feel it's appropriate for me, instead of questions and answers, to invite Mr. Kubilius to present his opinion on what has been said. He is not only the most experienced Prime Minister, being twice during the crisis Prime Minister and undertaking reforms, but now is spending, I think, more time dealing with support for Ukraine rather than leading parliamentary opposition in its fight with our ruling coalition. So, Andrius, I'm really happy you are with us. Please, short comments on your behalf.
Well, thanks a lot, Ramonas and dear colleagues, Professor Balcerowicz and Mr. Maragos. Everything was said. I simply want to just few comments. My personal thoughts. For example, why we are trying to be so active in Ukraine. Of course, everybody can explain, it's Grand Duchy of Lithuania and things like that, you know, our old, you know, friendships and so on. But I'm always trying to say that we need to see broader picture. And I am, of course, maybe sometimes we cannot speak in a very open way in Brussels or somewhere else what we have in mind. But in this auditorium, I can just say a few words. And those words are coming from a recent article in Politico magazine, 2nd of October. And the question is in the article titled, How to Tame Putin. And that was what they did. They collected big experts on Russia, somewhere in New York or Washington, D.C., I even don't know, don't remember, but those, I will name just few names. Dan Fried, Alexander Verzhbov, Alexander Kwasniewski, Mr. Hozgan, former advisor to Angela Merkel, and so on and so on. And what they said to that question, how to tame Putin. First point, Ukraine is a fulcrum of the struggle between Russia and the West. And the quotation of one of the participants, because that was Chatham House rules, so it's not very clear who said, quotation, Russia has to win in Ukraine because Europeanizing Ukraine is the end of Putinism. Not the end of Russia, but the end of Putinism. That's one comment. And second quotation, very brief quotation, which I lost. But yeah, okay. I will not continue in that way. Okay. Another quotation. The key to deter and potential to change Russia is Ukraine. So that is why really Ukraine is so important and why we need Eastern Partnership policy, not only as a policy to assist some of our friendly countries, but we need to see in a much more strategic point of view, which will take time. We don't know how Russia and when Russia will change, but this is the only instrument which we have in our hands. How to assist Russia to transform itself into a more positive way. That is why we came with some initiatives which Professor was showing. We started from our paper in Parliament, our assistance to Ukraine, which was of two parts, our bilateral relations and also what we brought, what we called Marshall Plan for Ukraine. Why we started to speak about that? Exactly because we saw that if we want to see Ukraine coming closer to Europe, we need to understand that the question of how we can assist implementation of reforms in Ukraine is so crucial. And if we are not able now to deliver Ukraine membership perspective, then we need to look for other instruments, how to keep motivation for reforms in Ukraine on such a level that really reforms should go forward. That is again our experience. Why we were successful, I don't know about Poland. Leszek Balcerowicz maybe had his power, because it's his Leszek Balcerowicz to convince everybody to move with the reforms. In Lithuania, I know a very clear answer. Luckily, EU at that time, back in the 90s, from the very beginning, was offering us membership perspective. First of all, unofficially, then officially. That was keeping us on track. With Ukraine, that is not the case, and the question is, what can keep Ukraine on track when they have Russia with Putin, who wants, to make totally different story with Ukraine, to make everything possible that Ukraine will not go with reform. So we came out with that plan. We traveled, Washington, Berlin, Brussels, and again everywhere. At the end, we got very clear message that don't speak only philosophy, bring us much more technical, plan. We are going next week to Brussels exactly, with much more technical plan, which I would call. We saw that this is a problem to title the plan like a Marshall Plan. I don't know why, especially in Berlin. So we started to call it Merkel Plan, maybe. Now we are going to Paris. Maybe we shall call it, Macron Plan. But but at the end, really, what we are looking for, and I see really that there is possibility to have really good understanding. We're looking what we can call adoption of Juncker Plan to Ukraine, with all that financial engineering mechanism, with only one change, that we need to see how really to make what is called, Juncker Plan for Europe, or external investment plan, which was adopted now, how to make some kind of, tailor-made, approach, because we need to see that really it will be really conditional. So we're talking about some kind of special institution, development agency or something like that in Ukraine, which would be responsible exactly both for real preparation of plans for investment, but also for conditionality. And also, what is again very important, it's visibility of Western assistance to Ukraine. Because at the end, what we need to achieve, we need to achieve a victory in the battle for hearts and minds of Ukrainian people, which, unfortunately, for time being, I'm not only trying to advise our friends in Ukraine, but I'm also spending my vacation on bicycles, traveling in eastern part of Ukraine. And the real problem is that really assistance from the Western society in that part of Ukraine is not very well seen. And that is why really this battle for hearts and minds is very important. So sorry.